Hi friends, welcome back to FoodPrints. I'm so glad you're here with me because the big idea we're exploring today is all living things have a life cycle. That's right, everything alive goes through different stages during its lifetime. Even you. Your first stage was when you were a tiny baby. Right now, you're in your growing stage. Soon, you'll be in your teenager stage, and later on, the adult stage. Those different stages you'll go through make up your life cycle. And that's the name of today's lesson, life cycles. For part of today's lesson, we're going to work with Play-Doh. So if you've got Play-Doh, great. If you don't have any Play-Doh right now, that's okay too. You can still follow along today. And then watch this video again later when you do have Play-Doh. The best part about this lesson is that we're going to look at the life cycle of one of my favorite insects, the monarch butterfly. The way that monarch butterflies grow and change through their lives is very interesting. For example, look at this. Isn't it amazing? This incredible sight is a monarch butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, which we'll talk about later. This butterfly is changing from one stage of its life cycle to another. Pretty cool, right? But I bet you're wondering, how did the monarch butterfly get inside the chrysalis? Well, that's a good question. To answer that question, we're going to move our bodies around a little bit, and we're going to have some fun with the Play-Doh. So let's get started. First, I want you to curl up into a tiny ball, nice and tight, and imagine yourself inside a tiny egg. Good job. The egg is one of the stages in a butterfly life cycle. You can usually find these tiny eggs on the underside of a milkweed leaf. And in a little bit, we'll learn why the eggs are on this particular leaf. But right now, we're going to start our monarch butterfly life cycle by making an egg. Just get a tiny bit of Play-Doh and roll it around like this. In the garden, in real life, these eggs are really tiny. But today I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that you all can see it. When you're done, place the egg down on your table or counter or wherever you're working. That's our first stage, the egg. Good job. Now let's pretend we're back inside our egg and we've become a tiny caterpillar and it's time to hatch. So we'll use our tiny caterpillar mouth to break a hole in the eggshell. And then wiggle free. Now you're in stage 2, a tiny caterpillar in a big world. And your first job is to eat as much as you can. Thankfully, your mom put your egg on a milkweed leaf. That's because she knew you'd be hungry. And monarch caterpillars love to eat milkweed leaves. So go ahead, start eating those leaves. Excellent. Now let's go back to our Play-Doh and make stage 2, our hungry caterpillar. Take a bit of Play-Doh and roll it back and forth to make a little caterpillar shape, kind of like this. And if you want, you can add extra details like 6 legs or antenna, maybe even stripes on its body using other colored Play-Doh. Whatever you want. It's your caterpillar. Here's a little caterpillar that I made earlier, so we can just place this new caterpillar next to its caterpillar friends, and that's stage 2, the caterpillar. Good job. Okay, after some time has passed and lots of leaves have been eaten, the caterpillar has grown bigger. In fact, it's so big that its outer skin, called the exoskeleton, is now too small. So the caterpillar needs to shed this skin so it can keep growing. And the caterpillars shed their skin by wiggling and shaking around. It's kind of like wiggling out of a sleeping bag. So let's wiggle and shake like caterpillars and slide out of your exoskeleton. Once the caterpillar is out, now it has more room to grow. So it's time to start eating leaves again. After it grows to a full-size caterpillar, it's time for the next big change. This starts by finding a safe, quiet place and then connecting its body to something where it can hang freely. Once it's connected, it's going to slip out of its skin one last time. So go ahead, wiggle again like a caterpillar shedding its skin. Very good. Once that old skin is off, it has a new outer shell called a chrysalis, and it will hang very still and quiet for 2 weeks. And this is stage 3 of our life cycle, the chrysalis. While the chrysalis is hanging quietly, a metamorphosis is happening inside of it. That's a big word, isn't it? Metamorphosis? Well, metamorphosis is what we call something when it changes from one form to another. And inside the chrysalis, amazing change is taking place. And we're going to see the results of that change soon. But before we get to that, let's use our Play-Doh to make a chrysalis. It's a bit of a long oval shape. So just put some of your Play-Doh in your hands and roll it back and forth until you've got a chrysalis shape, kind of like this. And then you place your chrysalis down next to your caterpillar. And that's stage 3, the chrysalis. Good job. After 2 weeks of metamorphosis or changing, the chrysalis appears to turn dark. But guess what? It's not the chrysalis that's dark. It's what's inside, a beautiful monarch butterfly preparing to emerge. When it's ready, it works really hard to wriggle free of the chrysalis. And eventually, it slides out and spreads its wings. That must feel really good, right? To finally stretch. Let's pretend we're butterflies emerging from our chrysalis. Your new wings are damp and fragile, and you can't quite fly yet. Carefully unfold your wings and gently flap them up and down to dry them. After a few days, your wings are dry, and it's time to fly. So go ahead, flap your wings and fly with me. Very nice flying. And now I want to show you one last thing you can make with your Play-Doh. It's our butterfly. I made these earlier so that you could see the different parts you can make at home. The head, the thorax, and the abdomen. And these are the legs and some tiny antennae. And this is a wing I made. But wait, since all butterflies have 4 wings, and this is only 1 wing, how many more do I need to make? Well, if you said 3, you're absolutely right. And that's what I made. 3 more wings. And then I put everything together to make my butterfly. What do you think? Remember, when you make your butterfly at home, it can look however you want it to look because it's yours. And when it's finished, you can put it with all the other things we've made in this lesson. And that's stage 4, the butterfly. And that's our monarch butterfly life cycle. Stage 1, the egg. Stage 2, the caterpillar. Stage 3, the chrysalis. And stage 4, the butterfly. And guess what the best part is? After the monarch butterfly grows up and becomes an adult butterfly, it will lay new eggs on the bottom of a milkweed leaf. And we start all over again. Egg, caterpillar, chrysalis, butterfly. This is the monarch butterfly's life cycle. All living things, like butterflies, plants, and humans, have life cycles. Can you think of any other life cycles? How about seeds that sprout into plants with flowers and fruits to make their own seeds and grow again? Or puppies that become dogs? Life cycles are all around us. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you next time.